Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. We have got the last team time trial of this season's Zwift Racing League. We are in RGV in France, 15.5 miles, 437 foot worth of climbing. It's a 34-minute all-out effort, to be honest. So yeah, a nice TTT to finish on, if there ever is a nice TTT to do, really. Just to give you a little bit of an insight to the team we've got here. So I raced for Rafa, the B2 team. We've got Basti, who is the resident powerhouse. Amazing amount of wattage he can do. So he's really sort of our lead here. We've got John, who is the team sprinter. Once again, excellent sprinter, but also can hold a decent power. We've got Edwin, who's solid at the power. Really, really reliable. Owen, who is a fantastic all-rounder. Chili, who is our wonderful Italian, and unfortunately the night before this he was actually in hospital, so kudos Chili for your efforts on this one. We've got myself, obviously, I'm not Tadej Pogacar, and we did have Rod, who was on the DS this week, team captain Rod, who amazingly managed to DS us without even looking at the screen. He's recently moved, so he didn't have the facilities to, so he was doing all of this via Discord, so amazing job from Rod also. So this is going to be a really interesting one, and as you can see at the start, I've just kind of let it roll through here. I did my first turn, my first pull, trying to average around 5 watts a kilogram, 350 watts, and already you can see that I've got quite a relatively steady heart rate at the moment, 155. But yeah, just trying to put down a reasonable amount of power for this first turn before John then takes over from my good self. So just trying to recover as much as I possibly can here. Now, last time we did a TTT, we actually finished in 8th position, which is pretty good for us. I wasn't actually racing that one. I think you can remember that I was ill. I mean, I've said that quite often, but I'm back to pretty much full fitness now, and I wanted to make sure that I could add as much as I possibly could to the team. So you can see here we're sticking in a relatively decent line here. And I mean, we're probably not the strongest team when it comes to this league. I think we're in round about 12th position at the moment in our league. So, anything above that would be an absolute bonus for us. And at the first checkpoint, you can see here that we're kind of, above where we should be. We're not a million miles away, but it's been a pretty solid start, to be honest with you, but still a little bit of work to do. But luckily for us, I mean, this course is pretty flat as I come through and do another turn. So just coming up to the second checkpoint here, we've been working pretty well together, and there's a couple of teams that I've missed off the bottom. But you can see that we're in pretty much the same position, but it is close, 7 seconds behind the team in front of us. And it is close around kind of like the 8 to 12th mark, I would say. As I roll it forward here, we're just about to come up to one of the first kind of like little checkpoints here, which is the Aqueduct KOM. So we decided on this one to pretty much try and bunch up. And unfortunately for me, I'd just literally done my turn as we were sort of coming up to this. So that for me is, I was kind of struggling a little bit here. My heart rate is 166, so it's not terrible. But yeah, just hanging on really at the moment there. So coming up now to the third checkpoint, you can see that we've actually moved up a little bit, which is, relatively strange. However, we're still, trying to do our best to keep in a line, which you can see here. We're doing really well. But I don't know if you can notice up ahead, there is another team that we're about to pass. And this is always a difficult situation on the TTTs. I mean, normally it's us kind of being passed, although on the last few, we've actually done pretty well. But it gets a little bit sticky around here. You can see we're sort of trying to do our best to stay in a line and come through. I mean, we do need to put some additional power down. But yeah, as we roll through here, we just really need to push on. And as you can see, I thought at this point we're pretty much through them. So it's just a case of pushing off here. But where it kind of goes up and down, whether or not they were a bit heavier, they kind of seem to come back through us again. And yeah, it kind of takes us a little bit of time to eventually get through this team. But I don't know, I don't feel like it was a fault of the other team. I actually, although John did mention to drop, I do feel it was a little bit tricky with the rollers that we were going through at that point. But yeah, they do eventually drop off, and we were able to continue. But as I say, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen too often. But it's always nice to be able to catch another team, especially when we sort of where we are during the league. But we're doing a really good job here. I mean, as you can see, I'm still putting down a relatively tough effort, as you can tell by my face. And we actually switched up the sort of way that we were leading out towards the end of the race. Basti suggested that perhaps we should sort of John, Basti and myself just focus on doing the pulls, and I did have to skip one, to be honest with you, because I was struggling. Now, as we come through the kind of last little bit here, we were just trying to give it everything. We knew from sort of earlier times that we maybe had just a couple of minutes left to go, so really putting as much effort as we could do in. And it was at this point that Edwin said, I'm not sure if I can hang on, I'm getting tired, sort of go on without me. But actually, and this is the thing I love about our team, you know, we all gave him some encouragement. We all said, come on, Edwin, you're only a minute away now, just give it everything you've got. And fair plays to Edwin. He actually managed to hang on for the sort of last bit of this, and managed to come across the line together, which was amazing, really. It's always nice coming across the line as a team. Rod gave us the instructions just to sort of put a little bit more power down, because we haven't got long to go. And I just kind of gradually managed to sort of build it up, as you can see here, just using some of that draft effect to come around some of the other guys, Owen and John here. Not going to tease John about beating him in that sprint, because he did an amazing job. And here are the final results. So we got Rafa 6th position, which is our best ever TTT result. Absolutely fantastic. It actually moves us up in the table to 11th. So we got a bit of a breathing gap between us and the Brakes Gruppetto, but an absolutely great race. Hope you've enjoyed watching this one, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.